Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 11, 2021. The Mandeville Regional Hospital is currently reorganizing its workflows and implementing a surge plan after 34 staff members tested positive for the novel coronavirus in recent days. The hospital has 780 staff members, and since March 2020, 61 have contracted the virus, of which 27 have fully recovered and are back at work. 2 microbiologists and a public health team are currently investigating the circumstances under which 27 members of the Operating Theatre and High Dependency Unit HDU teams contracted the virus. Hospital CEO Alwyn Miller says investigations revealed that 10 of the active cases are likely to have been contracted outside of the hospital. He says sanitizing of the operating theatre is guided by the highest established standards done after each case and again at the end of each day. Regional Director of the Southern Regional Health Authority, Sarah Michael Bent, is also reporting that the Mandeville Regional Hospital's COVID-19 20-bed isolation ward is at full capacity. But, he says, the authority had anticipated the challenges of the pandemic and developed a surge plan early in 2020 for the region, which includes Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Elizabeth. This surge plan involves the identification of additional beds on and off-site. That includes repurposing an additional ward to serve as a 16-bed isolation ward and redistributing patients who can be managed at other hospitals in the region. In addition, there is a 30-bed facility at the Kendall Camp and Conference Centre in Manchester and a 12-bed facility at Fonthill, St. Elizabeth for recovering patients who do not need hospitalization. Sarah's regional director is assuring the public that while Mandeville Regional is stretched, it is not broken, adding that they continue to serve the public in the best way possible in all areas of healthcare. Meanwhile, Jamaica has now surpassed 18,000 total COVID-19 cases since the virus entered the island in March of last year. 329 of the cases came in the last 24 hours, one of them imported. Almost a third of the new cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, with St. James, St. Catherine, Manchester, and St. Anne recording the next highest numbers. Over the last 24 hours, a 61-year-old male from Westmoreland also died from the virus, and the Ministry of Health is also reporting one coincidental death. 363 Jamaicans have died from COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. 12,456 persons have recovered. They include 198 people in hospital, 26 of them moderately ill, and 18 critically ill. Jamaicans are being reminded to observe the protocols to reduce the spread of COVID-19, including wearing a mask in public spaces, keeping a distance of 6 feet from others, and frequent hand washing and sanitizing. Government is drafting a beach access and management policy for Jamaica to increase access and improve the standard and maintenance of beaches available to the public. Environment and Climate Change Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the policy is one element of government's move toward the introduction of more sustainable practices aimed at developing a more resilient Jamaica.
Policy looks also on that balance. Access, how we are taking care of our beaches, how we are going to be able to provide beaches that people can feel safe and secure in, and amenities, sanitization, and clean beaches, spaces where Jamaicans and our tourists alike can have an opportunity to enjoy.
Minister Charles Jr. was speaking at a recent virtual public town hall meeting. He says the policy development process has included consultations with government stakeholders, civil society, and the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, as well as private sector entities. The public is being invited to make comments and provide recommendations on the beach access and management policy for Jamaica. Written suggestions may be sent to megjc.gov.jm. Government is aiming to expand a program for the separation of plastics at source following its successful implementation in 18 Kingston metropolitan area communities. The program is being done through collaboration between the National Solid Waste Management Authority and the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. Minister of Environment and Climate Change Pernell Charles Jr. says it is part of efforts to minimize plastic waste and ultimately improve the country's environmental and human health.
Jamaicans should, Madam Speaker, be able to enjoy our recreational spaces, including our beaches, our rivers, without encountering piles of single-use plastic waste or consuming microplastics in food and drinking water. In Jamaica, single-use plastics are often improperly disposed of. They contribute to flooding and they pose a serious risk to the health of our marine ecosystems, biodiversity, and potentially human health.
Minister Charles Jr. was speaking in Parliament on Tuesday. He took the opportunity to laud Raytown community members for their participation in the Plastic Waste Minimization Project, which was designed to reduce the flow of plastic waste from gullies into the Kingston Harbour. Public officials required to file statutory declarations can now submit these within their organizations. Manager of the Declarations Unit in the Information and Complaints Division at the Integrity Commission, Joeth Jones Hall, made this disclosure recently during an interview on JIS's Get the Facts program. She says the Commission has taken steps to decentralize the collection in light of the COVID-19 pandemic.
This year, we are strongly encouraging all declarants not to come to the Commission's office, but they can now securely submit their statutory declarations at their own organization.
Among persons required to file statutory declarations are all parliamentarians, members of the security forces, and public officials in receipt of total emoluments $3.5 million and above. It also applies to persons required by notice published in the Jamaica Gazette or requested in writing by the Commission. The deadline for submitting the declarations this year is March 31. Police officers can submit their statutory declaration to any of their 5 divisional headquarters, while Jamaica Defence Force officers do so at their respective unit headquarters. Other public officers can submit at established collection points within their ministry, department, and agency.
Declarants will be given an envelope, be given seals. There are secured containers located at your organizations, so declarants may submit these documents securely at their organization.
Declarations will be delivered by each entity or collected by the Integrity Commission at the end of the collection period, and a receipt sent to the declarants electronically. And finally, a 12-year-old student's cry for help has been answered by the Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Favour Williams. Minister Williams says that after reading young Avatar Mochette's heartbreaking story in the media, she was prompted to act quickly, gifting him with school books and a tablet.
I know that across Jamaica, there are many such stories of persons who, for whatever reason, they're not able to move forward in the way they want in terms of their educational dreams. We have to intervene to ensure that your future doesn't get stunted just because you didn't have the textbooks or you didn't have a device.
Avatar scored an overall average of 83.2% in the primary exit profile PEP last year, which earned him a place at Clarendon College. The tablet he received was taken from the National Education Trust (NET) shipment received from the New York consulate. He also received phone credit from Unicycle Jamaica, which was donated to the NET. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.